This time on Monkey Life. A new sister for woolly monkey Enzo.
We had no idea it was going to be last night, so obviously we're very excited this morning.
Squirrel monkey Charlie meets his new family.
I'm very hopeful that actually this is going to work out.
And the marmosets are full of surprises.
Very exciting, a little bit unexpected, but very happy at the same time.
Monkey World in Dorset is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Have you packed your stuff? Got your favourite comics and everything?
The park is home to more than 240 monkeys and apes from 18 different species. There's great news at Bueno's woolly monkey enclosure. Overnight, Yurima has given birth to a baby daughter. The staff saw her mating with Bueno 7 months ago and felt sure the birth wasn't too far away.
We had no idea it was going to be last night, so obviously we're very excited this morning that, yep, baby's fine.
Despite the excitement, it's important to keep up the usual routine of a healthy fruit and veg breakfast. Proud Dad Bueno leads the group out, closely followed by Yurima with her baby clinging on.
Come on then, Yurima! Come on then, gorgeous!
She's a confident mum and happy to show off her newborn whilst she gets her treats. Woolly monkeys are difficult to breed in captivity and their numbers are decreasing. They're extremely rare, but Yurima's proved to be a natural mum.
This is her 4th baby and she's reared every single one of them absolutely perfectly. So we don't really have any concerns about the fact that she's gonna have any problems with this one. We think she'd be brilliant.
But it's early days and the team are carefully monitoring the baby's progress.
What we're really looking out for now with this new baby is to make sure that it's suckling. We can either just listen out for it because you can hear them suckling, also just being able to see them in the right position as well.
Yurima's baby will one day use her incredibly strong tail like a 5th limb.
The minute it's still hanging down quite a lot, but in the next few days it will start to coil and then it'll be really strong and have a really good grip.
Unlike some other primates, Dad's going to get off lightly. Bueno's busy eating while Mum does all the work.
She will carry it completely and obviously she'll do all the feeding. He's not very child-orientated, is Bueno. We've got other dominant males here at the park that spend a lot more time with the youngsters than he does. He just seems to like his own space.
Enzo's had a bit of a shock. He's just 2 and he's always had all his mum's attention. But now he'll have to share with her baby.
He's doing really well. He's not at all upset by the new baby. In fact, he seems to have brought him out of himself a bit more. He's going up to the baby every now and again, sniffing it. He's been grooming the baby.
Enzo's desperate not to be left out of this family group, but a less experienced mum might have pushed him away. Yurima's quite happy to let him investigate his baby sister and be close to her. And young Enzo's still got 5-year-old Paolo to have fun with.
He's got a great playmate and they do spend time doing roly-polies and basically causing havoc all over the place.
Monkey World has been extremely successful in breeding woolly monkeys. There have been 14 births at the park.
The more woolly monkeys, the better, is my theory. We have 19 now and I think that's the most we've ever had in the park and it's just brilliant.
That's the largest number of captive woolly monkeys outside South America. Yurima's had a busy few hours. Now she can rest and sunbathe with Enzo snuggled up to Mum and baby Sis.
So I got the craziest phone call from Jeremy this morning. Come on into the park, we have 5 new arrivals. Can you believe it, 5 new arrivals? I knew we were expecting at least 1, but not 5.
Space is tight at the park and, apart from endangered species, it's usually kept for rescued animals. But overnight, 4 new baby marmosets have been born.
Lucky, do you want a worm? Good girl. Bit of a surprise this morning. We didn't think that they were due quite yet, but we came in this morning and both of given birth. So yeah, it's very exciting, a little bit unexpected, but very happy at the same time. Good girl, well done.
Lucky and Squeak were given thorough health checks 7 weeks ago, soon after they arrived at the park. But there was no sign that either marmoset was pregnant.
We didn't have any idea, really, that Lucky was pregnant at all. She wasn't big in size. The vets didn't see anything on her health check. The fact that both of them have given birth on the same day is really quite a surprise to us.
Marmosets are pregnant for 5 months, so Squeak and Lucky must have been expecting when they came to the park. Female marmosets usually give birth to twins and manage to rear both infants. This morning, both Lucky's babies were clinging to her partner Gizmo. But it was a different story for Squeak. One of hers was missing.
We managed to shut her off into a bedroom and check all the baskets, found the basket that she actually gave birth in, and found that there was actually a small dead baby in the bottom of the blanket.
Squeak seems well enough, and she's giving all her attention to her surviving baby, but they'll need to keep a careful eye on her.
Next few days that we have to make sure that they're getting enough milk and the parents are looking after them properly. So yeah, it'll probably be a week or two before we're not worried about them anymore.
Not far from the baby marmosets, the squirrel monkeys are also about to get a new arrival. 2-year-old Charlie was removed from his previous owner following an RSPCA investigation.
Charlie's been here for a couple of days now, and he's settled really nicely. He's eating well. He was perhaps a little bit underweight, but not too bad. But everything seems to be doing fine. His fecal tests have come back clear, so that means he seemingly doesn't have any parasites or bacteria. And we're going to move him down to the squirrel monkeys today. If there's lots of freaking out and upset, we'll hold off for a few minutes until things settle down. But otherwise, we'll get straight on and just open up the doors and see how we go. So fingers crossed, it would be really nice if everybody got on well together.
Charlie's released into the end bedroom, but Fidget and the 3 girls soon realise something's up. Fidget's an old man. He joined this group of dominant females 2 years ago after living as a pet for 20 years and found his place here as the quiet one. When rescued, Charlie was living on his own too, confined to a small birdcage in an office. They don't know if he's ever lived with other monkeys before, so it could be daunting for him to join an established social group. Charlie's curious but wary of his new neighbours. Fidget doesn't seem worried by him. He's tucking into his breakfast. But Charlie's keeping his distance up on the ledge whilst he checks out his surroundings. Everyone's staying calm, so it's time for the next stage, opening up the slides that separate Charlie from the others. Confident Topsy straight in. No one's keeping her out of her space. Charlie stays out of the way. He looks on nervously as Turvy, Samantha, and even Fidget hurtle in and out, checking out their territory. They don't seem to mean him any harm, so Jenny opens up the slides to the outside tunnels to give them all more room. Samantha is first out, closely followed by Turvy. Whilst they dash about, Fidget's happy to take it easy outside.
The network of tunnels inside of the house, as well as this network of tunnels outside of the house, really allow them to have more area where they can get out of each other's sight, and that's critical right now, because if we just shut them into a small area where they had to confront each other, the result might be very different. But as it is, as soon as tension starts to build up, they can move away, and you can see Fidget's out here right now looking around, but is pretty calm and relaxed. So I'm very hopeful that actually this is going to work out.
New boy Charlie eventually plucks up enough courage to leave his bedroom and venture next door. He's very cautious, but finally makes it outdoors. He doesn't know he's being watched. Fidget and Turvy are curious about the newcomer and warily follow him out. The team don't know what experiences Charlie has had before. He seems mesmerised by the outside world.
It's really early days. They've only all been together for about an hour now. The initial introductions with Charlie, Fidget and the three ladies have gone really well, better than we could have expected.
It's looking good, so long as Charlie doesn't bother old man Fidget.
We're hopeful that Charlie is young enough, he's fully mature, but young enough that he might not feel power and authority yet, and that maybe the two males will exist together in very different roles.
It'll be up to the females to decide what young Charlie's social status will be. If he can impress the ladies, he may take a lead role in the group.
The critical period is probably going to be in a couple of weeks' time, when the ladies start deciding whether they actually like Charlie and whether they want him to be the leader of their group or not. Hopefully this is the start of a good future for the group of squirrel monkeys with Charlie added in.
On a day like this, you'd think everyone would want to stay snuggled up indoors. And at Paddy's enclosure, some of the sensible girls are doing just that. But the more confident chimps are coming out to play in the puddles. Mickey wants to be part of the gang, but he's not so keen on getting wet. Zoe's getting on a bit, but she doesn't mind the rain. But young Eddie just grabs some of the scattered food and runs back into the warm with it. She never stays in one place for long. Kid brother Bart is under the blanket with Mum Susie.
Buster really likes the rain. He'll be happy to come out on his own and kind of get a little bit puffed up and kind of do a half little display, even if no one's there. Just a little bit of fun for him, really, just to crash around and slide around in the grass.
Buster teams up with his good mate Mickey. They've been friends since they arrived at the park over 20 years ago. The rain's not stopping young Bart from getting a game of blanket tag going with Gamba. Alpha male Paddy doesn't want to be left out. But when he turns up, Gamba's off. He won't stay around the big boss. Paddy will put up with anything from his young boy Bart.
He's big, he's strong, he's really fair with all the females and males. So he's really, really popular. He's an excellent one to learn from.
Young Bart is 5 years old and he's just managing to hang on to the white tuft of hair on his bottom, a sign to the others of his baby status. It's a license to do whatever he wants.
None of the kind of higher ranking females, for example, would want to be the first one to really discipline him properly, just in case Paddy didn't take this well, didn't agree, and then in turn they'd get disciplined.
Very soon, Bart will have to find his own place in the 20-strong group. But for now, he's loving his white tuft status. There are more changes over at the Squirrel Monkey house. Because Charlie's now in with Fidget and the girls, Saki Monkey Jethro has had to be moved. He's about to meet some new housemates.
In the wild, cotton tops and white-faced socky monkeys wouldn't actually share the same habitat. But, you know, we have to make allowances for new arrivals coming to the park, and really, we want to have a go with putting Jethro in with Uncas and Alice. Fingers crossed they will accept each other and everything will be okay.
Jeremy opens up the slides between the two bedrooms. Uncas and Alice are intrigued by the stranger, and they're used to having the house to themselves. They need to get a good look at this newcomer and make sure he's no threat to them. They sit on the sidelines and watch. But they've always been confident, and it's not long before curiosity gets the better of them. Jethro is 3 times their size, but whilst Uncas treads warily, the old lady wades straight on in. Cotton Top's Alice and Uncas are a devoted pair. Alice was already getting on in years when they were rescued from the pet trade, and she's beginning to look her age. Her poor eyesight could explain her seemingly fearless behaviour as she ventures into Jethro's domain. Always protective, Uncas jumps in front before she gets too close to the Saki giant. He's not yet sure about this new guy.
Cotton-top tamarins are known for being very feisty and quite aggressive. So, you know, we tried in the past to put some of our common marmosets in with the cotton-tops, and it just was clear from the get-go that it really wasn't going to work. The cotton-tops were fierce, were going to move around and displace the marmosets and even jump on them and have a go. He's so much bigger and doesn't seem to care that to leap on him and have a go would be a very brave and actually stupid move.
They're holding back for now, but Jethro's taking it all in his stride. He's keeping himself to himself and posing no threat to them. It's certainly more peaceful here than with the squirrel monkeys. He's an old chap, and this could be a good retirement home for him. It could also help the cotton tops.
I'm looking to the future. Alice is a very old lady, and I don't know how long she's going to be with us. And when she goes, that means that Uncas is going to be on his own. Jethro is never going to be Uncas's best mate necessarily, but they might form some kind of relationship. So for the long term, I think it's a pretty good plan, and they seem to be approving, so all good.
Back at the marmoset house, the team are checking new mums Lucky and Squeak and their babies every hour. Emily's putting food out and doing everything she can to keep the babies safe.
I'm just going to put this on the floor, just because of our new marmoset babies. When the parents have them, they do swap them between mum and dad. And so because we're not sure whether these guys have done this before or not, we're not sure how well they're going to be at doing the whole swap over thing.
In marmoset society, dads are hands-on. They usually carry the infants around, handing them back to mum when they need feeding. Lucky and Gizmo seem to have got the hang of it, passing the twins regularly between them. However, with Bubble and Squeak, things are different.
We've not seen Bubble so far carrying the baby at all. Squeak seems quite protective.
It could be because she's lost one of her twins that Squeak is being over-anxious towards this little one and not letting Bubble help. She'd also had babies before she was rescued, and they know one of her infants was taken away and sold on in the pet trade. There are risks in the handover.
Oh, swapping. See, that's what we didn't want to happen. Have you got it, Giz? Good lad. Lucky didn't have proper grip of the baby, I think, before Gizmo let go, so the baby did drop down only a little way. As soon as that happened, though, Gizmo raced straight over to the baby. Anna's picked it up, and the baby's gone back onto him now and is clinging on tight, so all seems to be okay. Obviously, this could be the first time for both of them, so it's a learning experience for them. A little bit nervous for a short while there.
Lucky seems to be living up to her name. Hopefully, with a bit more practice, they'll get it perfect. Over at the Orang nursery, young Kai is getting on famously with his new housemates. He recently moved over from Gordon's group, and he's really livened things up. Apart from baby Sylvester, he's now the only male in a house full of ladies, and he's been getting a little too friendly with some of them. Dinda loves playing with him, but when he starts to get amorous, she's having none of it, and the team don't want any surprise pregnancies.
I'm preparing the contraceptive pills for the girls in the nursery group, orangutans. I don't think they would particularly like to be handed a pill, but sometimes small tablets can be sort of tucked at the side of the mouth or spat out quickly.
The pills dissolve in the orange juice.
At least we know that they've swallowed the juice if it's mixed with that, and it tastes nice.
Most of the girls are still very young themselves, and Dinda and Xiaoning are closely related to Kai.
Being brother and sister, we don't want any pregnancies between those two animals. Good girl, Linga. Oi.
Since he arrived, Kai's been a huge hit with everyone. He's even won Oisin round. Although Oisin's an adult, she's been in the nursery since she was rehomed in 2010. The team wanted her to settle quickly, make friends of her own kind, and lose a lot of weight, so the active nursery group was an ideal choice.
She's still on a restricted diet, so we like to give her breakfast alone. She does share feeds during the day with the group, but also she has a contraceptive implant already implanted, so she doesn't need to have the contraceptive pill that the other guys have.
Oisin happily fostered baby Sylvester, and they've been inseparable ever since.
I mean, one day we might like Oisin to get pregnant. I think she would probably make a very good mum, certainly what she showed us with her relationship with Sylvester. But at the moment, she's still overweight, and we wouldn't want that to endanger her health.
Pills taken, the doors open to the tunnel. And Xiaoning, Jolie and Kai rush in for their treat. It's a bit of a squeeze, but Kai feels completely at home now.
We like to have a routine purely because we want to get them used to being into confined spaces if we ever needed to separate them for a purpose of anaesthetic, or just to make sure that they're not more stressed being in the environment on their own. If they do something a little bit every day, then they're much more acclimatised to it. Kai definitely won't miss out. Good boy. He gets bananas and things and gets all the supplements and the bread balls that everybody else gets. He obviously just doesn't get a contraceptive pill because he's a male.
The girls' lives have been transformed by Kai's antics, and the nursery's a much livelier place. Next time on Monkey Life. Concerns for the team when Capuchin Gorillan goes under the knife.
You can be all right on all this heat.
And the team are called to rescue another victim of the UK pet trade.
She's fed up overnight quite a lot. She's been just a little eating machine. I think she was quite hungry.